chapter, and we are coming to that part of the chapter where Krishna is saying, "How do we serve him?" So we'll start the session. Yat karoshi yat ashnasi yat pujoshi tatasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat purushva mat arpanam. Yat, whatever. Karoshi, you do. Yat, whatever. Asnasi, you eat. Yat, whatever. Pujoshi, you offer. Tatasi, you give away. Yat, whatever. Yat, whatever. Tapasyasi, austerities you perform. Kwanteya, O son of Kunti, tat that. Purushva do, mat unto me, arpanam, as an offering. So translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So now here, this verse can be understand from two three angles. Ki, the first question to everybody. So my sessions are interactive, so please feel free to ask questions or answer. Ki, is Krishna being selfish when he's saying this verse? Ki, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So the point is, the question is, ki, is Krishna being selfish? Ki, whatever you do, itna austerity kar rahe ho, you're working so hard from day and night, job karte ho, you study so hard, and then you get a job, and then job mein or business mein, whatever you're doing. So, but here Krishna is saying कि सब मेरे को offer कर दो. So here the question is कि is Krishna being selfish? Anybody? Yeah, Ashish Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have heard somewhere in other classes or maybe on the reel. So I'm just giving it a try. So Shri Krishna is saying because every day, so whatever we do, whatever we eat, and whatever we buy clothes or some other thing, so we are performing a sin. So because there are some microorganism. So while cooking, there are some microorganism or good bacteria which has been killed, and while walking on the street, there are some insect which are been get died by our feet. So for that purpose, maybe Krishna is saying us to offer whatever you do, whatever you perform. Maybe.
Yeah, but the question is Krishna being selfish? मतलब, in that sense कि जैसे तुम्हारा best friend बोले मेरे को दे दो सब, something of that sort. Because Krishna is your best friend, as in Bhagavad Gita he talks about in the fifth chapter, 29th verse. So just from that angle, is Krishna being selfish when he asks that? So you can think about it. Then till the time Dipti Mataji, you can unmute and say.
Yeah, so it is for our purification and for our good. Like whatever Krishna does is for our well-being. So it is not being selfish in that sense.
Okay. Yes. Anybody else who would like to answer? So this is very important for our understanding. So I'll just share it till anybody wants to answer. Yeah, Chinmaya Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Krishna is not getting selfish. He's just trying to like Mr. Chitti Mataji is working. He's just the purpose of that saying is to purify us, and the purpose of saying another purpose is that everything whatever we are getting in this material life, it is only because of Krishna. Source is Krishna, cause is Krishna. That is
Okay.
why जैसे हम हमारे पापा को जैसे पापा ने अगर कुछ हमें गिफ्ट देते हैं तो हम एक छोटा सा गिफ्ट करके पापा के बर्थडे को हम देते हैं तो ऐसे नहीं कि पापा सेल्फिश है इसलिए हमें मांगते हैं बट बिकम लाइक रिलेशन एक क्रिएट होता है लविंग एक्सचेंज होता है दैट इज व्हाई ही इज आस्किंग कि ऑफर मी वट एवर यू डू ऑफर मी
Okay. Yeah. So broadly, you सबने answer किया है कि why Krishna is not selfish in the sense. But एक important concept है. Some you would have listened also, but हमें पता होना चाहिए. There is karma, vikarma and akarma. Anybody would like to answer karma, akarma or vikarma? Because here people are there coming for long, so that's why I'm asking. Otherwise, I'll explain.
Karma, Prabhuji, I like to try.
Yeah.
Karma is the action which obviously will have results, might be positively, Vikarma, that is forbidden action, which might have negative results or negative
Right.
fruits. And
Yeah.
akarma is, for example, bhakti, or for example, somebody who is a singer, he starts investing into bhajans, or somebody is writing, he starts writing commentaries of Bhagavad Gita or the messages of God. How you make it akarma, inaction. So there are
Yes.
three kinds of karma: action, forbidden action, and inaction.
Okay. Okay. So कर्मा से होता क्या है? If we do कर्मा विकर्मा तो क्या होता है? What happens? Just
Karma has a positive effect. Okay,
okay.
and it is like a positive effect plus one. And
नहीं
vikarma, that is forbidden action, matlab, that has a negative effect on our life, a negative fruit.
नहीं one level
And
up, one
inaction,
level up, one level up, one level up. कर्मा विकर्मा करने से क्या होता है? What you get?
you will get a good birth, next birth, आप अगले birth में अगला जन्म जब होगा आपका वो अच्छा होगा, और जो उसका highest goal है, it is to go back to Goloka Vrindavan out of the clutches of birth, death, old age and disease. So that
Yes.
is the whole process. That is the whole goal of doing bhakti. That is the whole purpose of doing a positive karma.
Yeah. So just
Amen.
to yeah yeah Dipti Mata ji, yeah, if you want to say add something.
No, same like karma and vikarma is like karma bandhan you get because of that, right?
Right. So
So
you. Mhm. Yeah.
same birth, that cycle.
Okay. Yes. So the whole point was कि कर्मा विकर्मा करने से तो as Chetan said कि कर्मा is positive, मतलब it's as per the scriptures है, विकर्मा is not as per the scriptures, forbidden activities है as per the scriptures. But in दोनों से the point that we want to highlight is कि you get another body. Now what happens when you get another body? Heaven body, you go to heaven, you go to hell, you go become animal. पर होता क्या है वो बॉडी होती है, you get another body, तो what happens? You get
We are
birth.
still on the material. We are
You
still on the material.
Yes, you get birth, death, old age, disease. So that problem is not solved, and that's why a karma is recommended. A karma mein you don't get reaction of your action because you dedicated everything to Krishna. So I'll just share a story with you, a small story. So this is first time in my life I was staying in a Jain temple with my जो इस्कॉन पुणे के एकदम सामने the NVCC, which is a new temple, just bank opposite that, where there that time ISKCON Pune didn't have guest house facilities. Newly opened temple, I think so 2009 में हुआ था open, या 10 में, I don't remember that. नहीं नहीं sorry, 11 या 12 में हुआ था. So उससे पहले we used to stay opposite in the Jain temple because obviously there. So when I went to the Jain temple, so Jain का temple में guest house था, we stayed there. So there, in the tap also they would have put क्या बोलते हैं, छन्नी डालते हैं ना, some sort of a filter की ताकि insects ना आए. But I want to ask everybody कि जैसे even if we walk, we kill so many animals. So do we get a reaction for that? Yes, no. Even if
Yes, yes,
Yes, yes.
yes, even if you close your mouth, just it's just तो भी insects आ जाते हैं. Even if you eat curd, उसमें microorganisms होते हैं. It's proven scientifically. So you get that karma. The point is कि we cannot avoid that. So the only best way is to surrender to Krishna. So in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says कि one who eats grains without offering, he eats only sin. That is also sin. So that's why we have to offer everything to Krishna ताकि वो sinful activities का impact ना हो. Now even if you look at our lives, everybody is a working professional here or working doing something. So even if you earn some money, तो उसका भी karmic reaction होता है आपको. Even if you do some best of your abilities. So that's why we have to got to offer to Krishna so that we don't get that reaction. That is the most important part that we have to understand. Ki why we are offering everything to Krishna. So just on that, say in Tirupati, so earlier in the south you go now. So there are some people still, they offer up. जैसे morning में अपने books of accounts दिखाते हैं to the Lord, and then the evening when they do their business and they come back, they show their books of accounts to the God. कि you are my partner. So Tirupati में Lord Balaji को. Then in fact in Rajasthan I came to know recently about this temple. सावरिया सेठ करके किसी ने सुना है अबाउट सावरिया सेठ टेम्पल? यस नो, चैट बॉक्स में डाल दो. So this is also a temple dedicated to Krishna. So some people in Rajasthan, they actually make Lord Krishna their business partners. It's temple near Udaipur, and Lord Krishna is made their business partner. So okay, Sheetal Mataji is there. So I've been to the temple. I've not been there, so just curious to know. Okay, uh, so they offer so business partner बना देते हैं. Savaria City is Lord Krishna's DT only. So that's all. So that is where you can purify your income. So whatever you are earning. Yeah, Sheetal Mataji, you were saying something.
Yes, Prabhuji, I visited that temple. It's
Okay,
basically that Krishna ka hi temple hai,
right.
and I've been a long time back.
Hmm.
But yes, whatever you say is the same thing, that you need to make an offering
Okay.
all the time, and especially when we eat.
Hmm.
I think, according to me, is that when we offer, actually, who does all this? अपने को कौन digest करवाता है? So all these things is very important. So you thank the God that okay, you're helping me to digest my food. The food what you've given me on my plate is actually very nice. So I offer you that and help me digest it. So yeah, you say all these things. I
Right.
guess not according to me, it's that way
And there's
because
a
I do that. Whenever I eat my food, my 3 meals,
okay.
I do say this
Yeah.
shloka. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can offer to the Lord also. That way.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And we say Mahaprasade Govinde prayers. Before we eat. That's the the ISKCON Gaudiya Vaishnavism. We follow that.
Yes.
Chaitanya, Chetan Prabhu,
Uh,
sorry.
Prabhuji, I had a little query that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand as you explaining that it is for our karma purification that we offer the food to Krishna before eating. But in Bhagavad Gita, they also mention the kind of food, that the kind of food in the mode of goodness, mode of passion,
Yes.
and mode of ignorance.
Yes, yes.
Now, somebody who might be very, has a taste for very chatpata kind of a food or something that comes under passion or ignorance. So, when we are offering food to Krishna, do we also have to make sure that we only offer that food that is in mode of goodness? Because as human beings, I think it is very difficult to all your life eat only very simple sattvic food.
So Satvik's
Can we
food.
offer a pizza? Can we offer a pizza to Krishna? Can we offer a burger to
Yes,
pizza?
yes, yes.
Definitely.
Okay. I tell
Okay.
you, चलो ये experience था मेरे building में. I'll just share that. So this is when I joined Krishna consciousness 2004-5 types होगा, and we were just learning Krishna consciousness. तो गणपति था तो my parents हर फ्लैट से किसी को गणपति में ऑफर करना था, and my mom was cooking. तो they said बिना salt की दाल गणेश जी को ऑफर करो. And I was like, कि you offer tasty food to the Lord बिना salt की क्यों कर रहे हो? Some lady told him, my mom or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that is for our limited understanding में हमको क्या लगता है सात्विक food मतलब tasteless food. That is not the thing. It has to be tasty also. So this happened. Share you a story also ISKCON days का. So everybody knows Jay Pataka Swami, right? So uh, उस समय some Americans were there, नया movement start हुआ था, and so Calcutta में some devotees were there. So at that point of time ना one उधर जो cook in charge था कि devotees were getting fat and all, so उसने salad offer करना शुरू किया lunch में. Now we Indians are not used to, right, eating salads for lunch, properly. We are not used to, as a culture we are not used to it, because बचपन से हमने दाल rice roti whatever we eat. So then Prabhupada said, you're making my devotees run away. So sattvic food doesn't mean very, tasteless food or less salt or less chatpata. It has to be tasty. That is there. It has to be freshly cooked, and it has to be cooked with the mind in Krishna. Now, if you look at the ingredients, just an example, you talked about pizza and burger versus is that sattvic. So pizza में ingredients देखो क्या होते हैं. There is wheat or maida, whatever that is. Flour होता है, and then it's curated and it's made. That's the thing. So it's similar to what you eat as a roti. Roti में भी क्या करते हो? It's a dough, right? At the end of the day. So
Mm-hmm.
so lot of people actually ask this, कि तुम ISKCON में कैसे cake offer करते हो? But cake is made up of what ingredients? I guess Mataji are there. They
Yeah,
can. That is wheat, sugar, and I don't know what else. Flavoring is put. So broadly यही होता है. So it's just we have some conception of sattvic which is not exactly right, because यही वेस्ट में पिज्जा इज ऑल्सो लाइक अ डो ओनली, इट्स रोटी जैसा ही है अगर इफ यू लुक एट क्रूड वे में देखो तो बर्गर इज ऑल्सो अ बन विच इज अ ब्रेड. So it's fine, matlab, you can offer that, but we think from a very small angle of belief system pe. And then it's as per time, place, circumstance. So that is also very important. So I'll tell you my personal example. I was going from Hong Kong to Taiwan. So I had prasad dinner in Hong Kong temple, but so my god sister gave me bread. कि ये bread है जो devotees ने बना के रखे, you have it because Taiwan में the temple is a part time temple. Friday, Saturday, Sunday ही चलता है. You will not get anything in that sense. So you had bread and butter in the flight breakfast में. So these things happen. So it's as per time, place, circumstances also, and it is also you have to look at the ingredients और कौन सी country में है. So that's very important. The main thing is that you are centered around Krishna और तामसिक नहीं ऑफर कर रहे हो कृष्णा को. These two are the main guiding principles.
Tamasic will be a lot of masaledar food, very spicy and very
Two
lot of
two
a lot very oily stuff.
मतलब वही अनियन गार्लिक हो गया उसमें. टू स्पाइस, टू
Mm-hmm.
पंजेंट, टू स्पाइसी पंजेंट, ये सब इसमें पैशन और इग्नोरेंस में आता है. इट्स मिक्स्ड डिपेंडिंग ऑन हाउ इट इज, बट दैट्स ऑल.
Okay, okay,
बिकॉज सी
okay. Perfect,
आज
Babuji.
आज इज अ प्रीचिंग मोमेंट. अभी तुम इटालियंस को थोड़ी खिचड़ी खिला सकते हो एवरी डे, राइट? हाउ विल यू प्रीच टू देम, right? Or a French ko, so that's why it's very important you have to be integrated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect, Babuji. Thank you so much.
So I'll share a very nice Prabhupada story on this. So Prabhupada, when he was leaving from Calcutta, na, so remember, you everybody would have the same experience. कि आप कोई बड़ा काम करने जाते हो तो some people say अरे तुम नहीं कर पाएगा, it's very difficult to do. Whenever you're doing thing for the first time, right? Any first time activity that you do. So similarly, Prabhupada was going to the West. He did knew अमेरिका में क्या है, how it is, because उस समय तो communication was even very less. या तो बुक्स में पढ़ा हो या थोड़ा बहुत पेपर्स में पढ़ा हो, अदरवाइज विजुअल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ज़्यादा होता नहीं था. So everybody said Prabhupada को यार you will have to just survive on bread and potatoes और कुछ खाने को नहीं मिलेगा, and it will be very difficult for you to establish this ISKCON movement. So in 1976, when Prabhupada ka na, we were celebrating the ISKCON ka 10 years that was happened. So there was cakes, there was burgers as we talked about. There was a lot of many preparations that were there. So then Prabhupada remembered this ki, when I was coming here, uh, everybody told me ki you'll have to survive on bare necessities. It will be very difficult, very austere for you. But then he said Krishna is so merciful. you know when you do service for Krishna or when you offer everything to Krishna, like Prabhupada did. Prabhupada went with 40 rupees in his pocket to America and some sets of books, but Krishna gave him so much. He gave him, in the sense, he helped him. He got the whole movement that stand up and the way it is today. That is all Krishna's mercy. So that's where when you offer everything to Krishna, you get even more. That's the second point which I wanted to highlight. कि आप कृष्णा को देते हो तो then it's not that everything is reduced, you get much more. I hope my point is clear. People can type yes, no.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. So this one more point is there. Ki here is a practical tip also for us. So can anybody say ki how do you practically apply this in your life, or how you are applying practically this in your life? Here Krishna is giving you direct instructions.
By engaging all our senses into Krishna conscious activity or serving Krishna, all our activities,
But
like for
how?
example, like for example, you have been preparing PowerPoint presentations as a professional, corporate professional,
Well,
and in
I'm
educating people
interrupting.
about Krishna consciousness.
I'm interrupting. This not. This is a morning note. Your whole say day activities. How you are applying this in your life. That is more important. From that angle, I'm asking.
I think first thing in the morning when you get up, you should thank Krishna that I had a peaceful sleep and I'm awake. And
Yes.
because anything can happen during the sleep, first of all, you thank
Yeah. Yeah.
Krishna, and then you start with your chanting or even your little chai, breakfast, whatever you can say. Thank you to Krishna for the breakfast, for the
Mm.
chanting, for another day, for this morning, and
Yeah.
for the shelter that we get in the Harina. Yeah, like that.
Yes,
And throughout the day, when we get time,
when
yeah,
you
yeah,
see
everything,
when
everything,
you see sun in the
10%
morning,
of our salary.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
anybody else, how do you apply Krishna को this verse in your life? Because इसका practical application भी बहुत important है. So anybody, how does
Taste
it?
of water is Krishna while we drink. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes, yes, Mataji. Okay, yeah,
While drinking water, we can say ourselves, the taste of water is Krishna.
exactly. Then anybody else? So when you see the sun, you can say it's Krishna. So that's how this is how you can apply. So whenever you're doing any activity, you can remember Krishna and then do it. And do your rounds, you remember Krishna. Then whenever you have free time, you come to the temple, or we have morning and evening classes, you can attend that if you have time. So these all things you can do. So there is this interesting story. One say atheist asked Prabhupada, "Ki, does God really eat?" You know, right? And Prabhupada said it's written in the Gita. So should I listen to a atheist like you, or should I listen to Krishna like you? Should I listen to Krishna? So गॉट द थिंग ना कि एक एथिस्ट ने प्रभुपाद को पूछा कि भगवान सही में खाते हैं, यू ऑफर सो मेनी भोगास दिस दैट, बट डज गॉड रियली ईट? एंड ही सेड कृष्णा सेज इन द भगवद गीता कि आई ईट. So should I listen to a atheist like you, or should I listen to Krishna's words? So that's how people keep challenging it, but you should have faith. So in the last verse ये discuss हुआ था कि I'll just show this. So this is 26th verse. So if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. So this is Krishna saying, you offer anything to me, I will accept anything. And this is a fruit, flower, with love and devotion. That is the most important aspect, and I will accept it. So that's. How many of you think Krishna really accepts the offerings? Or how many of you think ISKCON Yoga Temple का प्रसादम is different than what we cook at home? Same vegetables, घर में taste अलग है, मंदिर में अलग है. Type in the chat box.
Yeah, it's very different at the temple and what we cook at home.
Yeah, it's the same ingredients, but then obviously Krishna is accepted.
Right, yeah.
So that's a a direct with a practical demonstration. We get people get really attracted to the prasad that we have in the temple. Yes. Any questions?
So
Or
we,
yeah, yeah, yes, bro.
I had a query in this.
Yeah.
While doing Aarti at home, I offer flowers and the Ganga Jal in the Aarti while my morning Aarti and everything. But
Hmm.
in my home temple, I have not done Prana Pratishtha, you know.
Okay. Hmm.
So I just want to know when I do the Aarti, I don't, when I read the Aarti or when I do my prayers, is this the
Hmm.
right ethical way, or I am being a little foolish here because I have not done Pran Pratishtha in my temple,
So
but I make sure I clean my temple and keep it very neat and clean. Yeah, thank you.
okay, this is a very common question. So the point here is that when you do pran pratishtha, na, there are very strict rules and regulations. So normally devotees के इसमें recommend करते हैं कि take keep gaur nitai, because उनके worship or offering में it's not that difficult. They don't take offenses. You don't get offenses. But when you do pran pratishtha of Radha Krishna and all that, Jagannath ji, the rules and regulations are very strict. So you've got to be trained by the pujari department to do it and all. तो निटी ग्रिटीज उधर बताएंगे, बट देन इट्स अ वेरी सीरियस थिंग. मतलब देन यू कांट बी कि भोग लगाने में देर हो गया, फॉरगॉट टू ऑफर द ऑफरिंग और द आरती. So that is too complicated. If you have systems, or you're inspired to do, or your spiritual master says yes, then only do the pran pratishtha. Otherwise, you're just offering incense and say a lamp, flowers, that is okay. There is no problem with that. But when you do pran pratishtha, so then gets a very serious thing. Then you have to arrange for proper service, or proper offering for the deities, proper dressing and everything. So it gets
Mm.
more. So you have to be properly trained also in that. So
Is
better.
it like can I understand that what we see in a temple is actually the real personal reflection of God, but in our house that I have not done plans, so it is like playing with toys or like just
No, no,
satisfying
no.
your own self with the okay.
No, no. So you're actually offering something to Krishna, right? So that's a direct action between you and Krishna. So I hope so. That's there. There is nothing wrong in that. It's just that you're actually actively engaging in Krishna. So suppose you perfect Krishna consciousness in this life. So what you will do in Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan? You'll only offer offerings to Krishna, right? You see Krishna coming, you'll offer your obeisances, you'll offer lamb, flowers, जैसे करते हो. So that's there. So there's nothing wrong in that. It's not playing with toys, but you are actually developing a
Okay,
personal connection with Krishna. So there's nothing wrong with that.
perfect. Thank you.
But you have to have a
Thank you so
proper
much, Prabhu.
understanding where you're doing it. मतलब ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि when you're offering a lamp, तो I have to run to office or my breakfast is pending, something of that sort. You have to do it with an idea or with a mindset कि you have to establish a connection with Krishna, and you are actually having an exchange with Krishna. That is more important because Krishna says, whoever offers me, a leaf, flower, like the last verse that we saw, with love and devotion. So the most important aspect is love and devotion, and then offering with that mindset. That is more important than actually other things. Because Prabhupada said, when you have such a in temple deity worship is going on so nicely, so better come to the temple more often than actually do pure proper deity worship at home. So that's what Prabhupada recommended. And that's why we have this big temple, so that you are connected to Krishna. I hope that answers Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you.
And for everyone, it's a very common question. I hope that's clear. What I said. So, a lot of people have doubts around this. DD worship. I'll just read the purport. Thus, it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstance. Everyone has to work for his maintenance of his body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. So, in this is the common again. We all are working or at least studying. So, the most important point here is you can in your workplace you can have a small photo of Krishna. अगर some people are working office में तो आपने ISKCON की भगवत गीता रख दी तो lot of people come to your desk and keep opening the Bhagavad Gita. That's good. That's a good preaching message that you can do. While yeah, that happens. Try it. Then
Yes, Prabhuji.
yeah, or then you can during lunchtime when you are having, and you can have it alone, and then you can listen to a lecture of Prabhupada or some senior devotee. So what happens is your connection is there. Then evening you are coming back in your commute, you can put a audiobook of Prabhupada, something of that sort. So say you're connected across the time to Krishna. So that's how you can inculcate this time. Otherwise, क्या होता है? Normally I face this problem कि when you are in office, it gets very difficult to focus on Krishna consciousness because obviously it's mode of passion there and so much activity happening. But especially in the lunchtime, you obviously have half an hour for you, or depending on whoever who is working what. So you can actually listen to some lecture, connect with Prabhupada, 10 minutes lecture and all. Just a second. Give me a second. I'll just compare.
Is the audio there or Myra? चला गया? Hello?
No, he's just coming.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
just
coming.
coming.
Okay, okay.
Krishna, sorry. Some was on the door. So Hare Krishna. Yeah. So that's how you can do it. You can have especially office time or your work time, you can have some element. At least lunchtime, you can remember Krishna. And then evening, so night before going to sleep, Prabhupada recommended Krishna book. You can read the pastimes of Krishna so that whatever you read before sleeping, it's there in your mind. So this is how you can mold your life into Krishna consciousness. And then keep coming to the programs. Yeah. Yes, Shweta Mataji, yes. Yeah. You had a question? Okay.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to add
Yeah.
that at least 3 times a day one can be very when you get up in the morning, you can thank him
Yeah.
by saying a small prayer. At the same time, when you want to eat food in a lunchtime, before having lunch, just say a small prayer and offer him that thali of yours.
Yes.
And because that is easily done, at least that is the minimum one can do. At the same time, when you're going to sleep, you can have that same thing, say a small prayer, which I do very regularly. So when I get up in the morning, I do say a very small prayer to him, Karagre Vasate Lakshmi. And during the lunch time, dinner time, or even breakfast time, I do say this one, Yagnashishta Shanto, and this one also together. And
Yeah.
when I am sleeping, I do say that Krishnaya Vasudevaya. So that also, that's way at least I make it a point to thank him for whatever he is, the whole day, the meal, and the good morning which he is giving me. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You can add chanting to your schedule, Mataji, because
That
chanting
is
is what.
always there. Chanting
Okay,
is
very
after the
nice.
next session always starts. But this
Okay.
is as soon as you get up, there's like
Yes.
no left, right, center. As soon as I get up, or at the same time when I'm sitting to have my food, all the three times. Or when
Yeah.
I'm last closing my eyes, before that I do this. So yeah.
And yeah, that's very nice. So the whole objective is that Krishna should be in the center of every activity that we do.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, Mataji. That's very good.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I just want help from Chital Mataji that what exactly we pray while offering food to Krishna. So there might
Well,
be some sloka. You can add a link in the chat.
So I'll add
I'll
a link.
send.
So
Yes,
I'll
Prabhuji,
sell.
I think you must be having that
So I'll
because,
tell Akyut
huh?
Prabhu. He'll put the in the
Yes,
group.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
he'll add
Prabhu.
you in that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Akyut Prabhu, you're listening, so you can just add, what prayers to say before eating and all. So that you can just share the link in the chat box. Or anybody who's there, Dipti Mataji, can just share, or Chinmay Mataji. Yes. So that's the whole point. Your Krishna has to be in the center of every activity, dude. So two important points here, which is very important for understanding. First is that we don't give up work, okay? That's a big misconception when you come to ISKCON, you give up work. You don't give up work. You do a work in Krishna consciousness way. So you don't do sinful work, but you do, work in a Krishna conscious way, where you are offering everything to Krishna so that you are purified also. So you don't get negative reaction of your, of the action that you're doing. And Krishna has to be in the center. So that's two things you have to keep in mind if you really want to, build your devotional life or be very active in spiritual life. And this will give you, you know, bliss. So So I'll just read it. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me. And this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in further Krishna consciousness movement. So, as devotees, we don't do filigrous activities, or what activities materially people are doing, like, partying in a pub, or, consuming alcohol, or wasting our time watching Netflix, or whatever the visual media, or spending too much time on our phone watching non Krishna conscious related stuff. Because what happens is that when you do these activities now, the your spiritual life goes down. So, I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but just say if you're coming to temple regularly and then you suddenly stop for a few weeks, then again coming back to the temple is difficult. Because क्या होता है, वो माया बोलती है, अरे क्या कर रहा है, you're too tired to go to the temple, or you don't have time to go to the temple. That happens. So that's why we have to, keep our life in such a way so that our house also becomes a temple, where, you're listening to Prabhupada's lectures in your free time, or reading Prabhupada books and understanding the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Because there is so much to do. If somebody is very good at Chaitanya was saying, कि PPTs mein your coach can help them preacher with the PPTs, making of the PPTs. If you're very good at, dance, so you can offer your dance to Krishna. So, so the actress Hema Malini, she did performed her first, dance in Bhakti Kala Kshetra, and she still does performance for ISKCON for charitable activities and all. So that's all a life where you're offering something to Krishna, and there are many such people. So this way you can actually offer everything to Krishna, and then you don't get that karmic reaction. And what happens is you get more and more attracted towards Krishna. Now here again an interesting point. Okay, I have a question. In Srimad Bhagavatam, you know, the first version or first time Krishna is revealed is in which chapter? If anybody has read Srimad Bhagavatam, कि कृष्णा का फर्स्ट रेवलेशन या हु इज कृष्णा श्रीमद् भागवतम में कौन सी चैप्टर में आता है एंड हाउ इज डिस्क्राइब्ड एज एनीबडी वाइल्ड गेस एनीबडी So in the first chapter, in the seventh chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is described as Parthasarathi. He's described as the charioteer of Arjuna. Now, charioteer of Arjuna, you remember in the war situation when the arrows are being exchanged, मतलब एक दूसरे के बीच में तीरबाजी हो रही है, arrows are being exchanged. So how does you know you communicate with your charioteer by legs? So you kick him on the left side, so he'll move on the left. If you kicking on the right side, he'll move on the left. Imagine, Krishna is so eager to exchange, have loving exchange with his devotees. He is ready to become a charioteer. मतलब Vacharana, which is not a very high position, right? He's supreme personality of Godhead. He owns everything, but he still becomes a charioteer because out of his love for his devotees, and that is the benefit of Krishna consciousness, or surrendering to Krishna. He is even more eager to serve you, but we don't understand at in the sadhana stage. But when we realize that, we start understanding. He's serving you so much. So Prabhupada, God was shocked. When so many people started joining at that point, when the movement was expanding, and he said, "My Guru Maharaj is sending all these devotees, and by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are so many devotees are coming." He never took credit. Prabhupada never took his credit, and that's how Krishna exchanged. The first year of Srila Prabhupada in US was very difficult, but then once things started picking up, you had this whole flood of the movement happening. So that's how. So Krishna is always eager to serve us, but obviously we have to be purified and eager to see Him. And with our conditioning, it takes time. So that's where we have to keep, molding our life so that we can be Krishna consciousness all the time. So I'll just read ahead. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practicing meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra around in his being, is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the sixth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, why meditation is a question to everybody? Why meditation is so difficult in this age?
Because Prabhuji, in the city, the noise in the metropolitan city, the traffic, the chaos, it is not like Purana Zamana where one could actually go in a forest and chatai laga ke do that. That
Yeah,
kind, even घर पे भी उस type की शांति एक meditation के लिए distractions are too much in Kali,
right.
especially in the cities and metropolitan cities.
And
Yeah.
most of the people stay in cities, I guess. Now it's अपना
Cities.
इंडिया में तो भी कम है, but globally, I guess most of the people stay in cities, at least developed countries.
Prabhuji,
So
I wanted to ask you one thing.
yeah,
Is there if we just look at Krishna, we buy a huge picture of Lord Vishnu. This is given in nectar of devotion. Meditate on Krishna or the four-hand form of Vishnu. If we
mm,
just silently look at the pictures of Krishna or the deity at home,
mm,
is that, can we call that also meditation without
yes,
chanting? Just okay,
yeah, to
okay.
some extent, because you are observing the features of the Lord, right? So when we see the deities of the Lord, okay, so how do you? Anybody knows the process? How do you see the deities in the temple of the in the temple? So this is described in Nectar of Devotion. So you start from the legs, feet of
Yeah,
Krishna, and
from
then
the
you,
feet. Yeah.
yeah, and then you slowly go up. Then you see the how the pujari has decorated. The whole what is the color combination used and also that's how you can meditate. That's a real meditation on the Lord. So that is recommended, but it's not recommended too much because what happens is if we our mind can only be fixed for 1 minute. Even I guess everybody would
Mm-hmm.
accept even if you go to Radha Rasbiari and see kitna minute concentrate kar paate ho, 1 minute 2 minute, unless you're distressed, so you can spend some 15-20 minutes, but otherwise you quickly see and then your mind stay goes here and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not too much recommended, but yes, but you
Okay,
can do it.
okay.
Whenever you see, so you just remember, whenever you see a picture of Krishna, you can remember, this is Krishna. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. I have to have a loving exchange with him. Okay, how do I serve
Mm-hmm.
him then? You can serve him by remembering. You can serve him by hearing his stories. You can serve him by giving something, for his activities. So that's how you can build connection every time you see.
And Prabhuji, another thing, can we meditate on Srila Prabhupada? I'm asking this question because in some other spiritual organizations, in Radha Swami, they meditate on the Guru, or in Shiv Baba in Brahma Kumaris. But our Guruji is Srila Prabhupada. Can we meditate looking at his pictures? At his pictures?
You do some obviously Guru Puja when you do in the morning, you know, at 7:30 that you
Mm-hmm.
do. So that way you're already meditating, right? You're listening, you're seeing Srila Prabhupada's deity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meditating se zyada
Mm-hmm.
what Prabhupada has said. That's more following his teachings. See,
Mm-hmm.
what Prabhupada has recommended chanting, he's writing in this purport. Kya bol raha hai wo? Chant 24 hours. That is more important
Mm-hmm.
than actually
Mm-hmm.
meditating on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have also seen, the other time meditate karo, your mind goes here and there, and you have to keep pulling back, keep pulling back. But when you chant,
Mm-hmm.
you keep saying the mantra. Even if you're not concentrating on the mantra, you get the benefit. Some benefit you get.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is even more effective. So I would suggest better than meditating and all, which Guru Puja is there that we do. But main is to follow his teachings and read his books.
Okay, okay. Perfect. Perfect, Prabhuji.
And
Thank you so
Prabhupada said
much.
I would be, books are the basis and preaching is the essence. So these two things, but that is the whole go. So read Prabhupada books. That is the best way of meditating on Prabhupada.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So I'll tell you a story also. Is this? So this is in Vrindavan. So Navi Yogendra Swami was there. He was acting as his secretary, and he was translating books. And Prabhupada would never used to was not going to Mangal Aarti. Why he was not going to Mangal Aarti? Because he was translating the books which we are reading now in Veda Base, Srimad Bhagavatam. So some devotees who joined recently, they were not attending the Mangal Aarti. So Srila Prabhupada said to him, I have to go to the. I'm not going to the Mangal Aarti because I'm doing a very important work of translating these books. Okay, and for this books would be for 10,000 years, as as guiding principles. So that's why I'm doing this work. That's why I don't want to go to the Mangal Aarti. But the other devotees who have just joined, they have to attend the Mangal Aarti. So that is the importance that Srila Prabhupada gave to this books. I hope everybody got the point. Yeah, Chetan Prabhu, you
Yes,
understood?
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Understood. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So yeah, so that's the best way. Read books, and because these are very wonderful books, and so much learnings is there in these books. Do you agree? Do you disagree? The Prabhupada's purport are so
Abs-
wonderful.
Absolutely, Prabhuji. His books are just magical, and I to can bet anybody reads Bhagavad Gita, he is 100%. I can bet he will become a devotee,
That's so
no
read
matter
cover to
how
cover.
big an intellectual you are.
Yeah, that's the beauty. So other people don't agree? Type in the chat box. Yes, no. Do you agree? Prabhupada books are wonderful,
We do, Prabhu.
and everybody
Totally.
should have the full set of books of Prabhupada, if possible, whenever. So any questions, or we can go to the next verse now. Any other questions, or we take the next verse? So we take the next one. शुभ अशुभ फलर एवं मोक्ष कर्म बंधन संन्यास योग युग आत्मा विमुक्ता मान उपस्यसि. Shubha from auspicious, Ashubha and inauspicious. Falahi results. Evam thus. Mokshase you will become free. Karma of work. Bandhanaha from the bondage. Sannyasa of renunciation. Yoga the yoga. Yukta Atma having the mind firmly set on. Vimukta, liberated. Mam to be upasyasi, you will attain. Translation. In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. So Krishna is giving you the formula. Ki whatever you do, whatever activity you do, surrender everything to him. And what is the benefit of that? You'll be freed from bondage to work. And it's in the auspicious and inauspicious result. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Now, I have another question here. In this verse, why Krishna is sort of marketing himself. If we analyze somebody is reading for the first time, he's saying the benefits of surrendering to me. So, what is the purpose of marketing?
Marketing of executing Krishna consciousness or implementing that in your
Ha,
consciousness
surrendering to Krishna. We are looking for a material point of view. Now, put a material lens while you
okay.
are reading for the
Out,
first time.
out, out, out of my experience as a human being, the anarthas, that is calm, krodh, moh, lobh, pride, and false ego, especially krodh and false ego in my case, or greed. I mean, I can't believe, but I have changed as a person. That the practices, the books, the lectures, by hearing and chanting, you lose these anarthas, these demonic qualities. So
Yes.
that is one thing that I would like to
But,
market. Yeah.
but the question is from material point of view. Now we are students of Bhagavad Gita, right? A material point of view से देखें
Mm-hmm.
तो somebody is reading for the first time. Why Krishna is marketing himself? In that sense. ये करोगे तो you'll get this. Karmic reaction नहीं होगा. Why Krishna has to do this?
Because Prabhuji, this is a dukhalaya. We have discussed ki this material life, we are otherwise just going to be caught up into the clutches of birth and death, and there will be sorrow, and there will be sickness, old age, birth, death, and
But
sadness. I mean, sarte rahenge.
नहीं, that's a devotee answer. Materially it's what materially. Okay, let Dipti Mataji was saying something. Yeah,
Achha,
Mataji.
yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
So Krishna wants us to be free from all of this and go back to Godhead. That is why he's been telling us repeatedly that what we need to do.
Yes. And इसमें एक important point है जो starting of the chapter में बोला था. Anybody else कि why material point of view से Krishna is marketing himself? So to say, just from an analysis point of view, not. But if we are analyzing something, कि this is the what is this chapter name? Anybody can answer? इस chapter का नाम क्या है?
The confidential knowledge,
Yes.
the most confidential knowledge.
And why he's revealing to Arjuna? Because Arjuna was not a dash of Krishna.
Jealous, yeah, not jealous. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Envy is the word. So because he
right,
was not
not
envy
Mm-hmm.
of the Krishna, Krishna is revealing this to him, right? So let's just
Yes,
take
right.
the analogy. They say everybody has graduated from some school, college. So कॉलेज में क्या होता है कंपनीज कम इवन इफ एप्पल कम्स टू आईआईटी तो कैसे मार्केटिंग करेगी वी आर एप्पल हम इतनी बड़ी कंपनी है दिस इज व्हाट वी डू एंड वी नीड स्टूडेंट्स राइट similarly analogy of this sort Krishna is revealing to Arjuna because he is not envious of him and his mood of surrender he's his best friend in this sense he's he's surrendered to Krishna so because of that he's revealing to him and that's why this chapter is called the king of knowledge because here Krishna is revealing himself. He is ready to take all your karmic reactions, and once you are liberated, you'll come to him. So this is just one point, because you have to look. So Prabhupada always said, ki look, when you read scriptures or when you read some book, you have to look from different angles of view to understand it better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what.
Also, Prabhuji, I think for the neophytes or people who haven't read, they are usually very confused about who to preach because when you are born in this family in India, Ganesh ji ko bhi poojna hai, Hanuman ji, Shiv ji,
Right.
Mata. So here, Lord is telling you, Lord Krishna is telling you directly that come and surrender onto me, and I will take care. I will take
Exactly.
care of you.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So India में वही प्रॉब्लम है ना I'm not being a pessimist but just that कि भगवत गीता पढ़नी चाहिए everybody wants to read it but how many of you have read it वो nobody says right even if इतनी distribute भी होगी तो people don't read it right so that is where we have to encourage everybody to read it and that is where we all can collectively collaborate and work together okay? We understand ourselves also and then we preach it to others also or at least we distribute it to others so that's a very important thing because there is so much nectar in this knowledge Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is it interesting or is it boring to read Bhagavad Gita?
It is absolutely enlightening, but it is very tough to read also, I have to say.
एक बार गौरांग प्रभु was telling, he was IIT चौपाटी का, he's in charge of Govardhani को village. तो IIT में क्या होता था, his friend, his roommates, his roommate, yes. तो रूममेट ने भगवत गीता गौरांग प्रभु को दी, बोले रीड करो, बोलता वाई, बोला whenever I read I get good sleep out of it. So if I'm not able to sleep because of anxiety, पढ़ाई का, so I get good sleep. But he read it and he became a devotee. So and we got Govardhani को. So that is what the Bhagavad Gita is. So that's why we have to read this and try to read it. Even 15 minutes, we can finish it. And
Okay, and then you'll get very good sleep after that.
yeah, either you will be awakened or you'll sleep. But that's good.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. So your what do you say? जो होता है ना माया का वो कवरिंग होता है कि I'll have this and I'll be happy, or I'll have this and I'll be happy. मेरे पास Apple का iPhone होगा, imported car and I'll be happy. That's not going to happen. You'll never be happy because birthday to old age disease हमेशा रहेगा, and that's why you come to know. So your eyes would be open.
Yes, yes.
So purport. I'll just read the purport. Any other questions? I'll just read the purport and try to finish this verse. So I'll just read it. Purport. One who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction is called Yukta. The technical term is Yukta Vairagya. This is further explained by Rupa Goswami. Now, this is a very important thing and a very important principle of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So just listen to this very carefully, and you can read it also. It's there in your screens also. Rupa Goswami says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. Therefore, if actions are performed and the fruits are given to Krishna, then that is called Yukta Vairagya. So this Yukta Vairagya means dovetailing everything in the service of Krishna. So that is the biggest principle of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So when I first came to Krishna consciousness, I was surprised, कि अरे टेम्पल में पार्किंग भी है, टेम्पल में यू हैव अ रेस्टोरेंट आल्सो इन द टेम्पल. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू सरप्राइज कि टेम्पल में प्रॉपर रेस्टोरेंट है? एनीबॉडी? और कोई टेम्पल्स में दिखता नहीं नॉर्मली.
Yeah, with the restaurant, yes.
रेस्टोरेंट है, देयर इज सो मेनी नाइस फूड स्टफ्स टू हैव. नॉर्मली हम लोग का क्या वी हैव अ बिलीफ सिस्टम इन टेम्पल, मतलब it's not that clean place. Sadly, most of the temples in India, especially holy places, it's not kept as clean as it should be. Some temples are, but just that the standard is still low. Uh, then you have temple. So they are using everything for Krishna. So then first time we say, as we were discussing at the start of the class, is somebody offering pizza to Krishna. मतलब when I went Vrindavan for the first time, Bombay temple में उस समय पिज्जा नहीं मिलता था 2003 में. There was not even a bakery. There is a samosa and basic जो था, that old what do you say, जो जहाँ पे sweet shop है, that was there. So Vrindavan गया, I saw pizzas being offered. In fact, एकादशी में एकादशी cake मिल रहा है, and I was like shocked. How can this happen? But that is there. So everything can be dovetailed in the service of Krishna. So that is the most important principle of Gaudiya Vaishnava. So here we don't have to leave anything. Normally क्या होता है कि when you come to spiritual life, it's shown, or at least we have an assumption कि we have to leave everything. Here you don't have to leave everything, your family or all, but you have to dedicate everything for the service of Krishna. Because there is a lot of misconception also कि सब brahmacharis बन जाते हैं. Only 5% become brahmacharis. Rest all live a normal life and they live a Krishna-centered life, and that's how they live the life and go to perfect their lives in terms of Krishna consciousness. And there are many rich businessmen also who are very what do you say intellectual people are also involved with the movement. So this misconception you have to leave everything, that is not right. You have to use everything in the service of Krishna. If you're working hard, earning well, put some, can give some donation to Krishna for various festival that comes. Janmashtami would come and all, so you can just give some donation there. Or, you can do service also. So like this program is happening, somebody is involved in, tracking, running the whole thing, distributing cards and all. So this is the beautiful principle of Krishna consciousness, that you don't have to go to the forest. You can staying in a city, serve the Lord. So
Prabhuji, out of a salary, how much
hmm,
for a devotee or a Krishna conscious devotee, what percentage is there a fixed percentage one should, give in for Krishna consciousness, for temple constructions, or for arti or anything? Is for a devotee, is there a fixed percentage you have to give from your income every
So,
month or year?
so Prabhupada said a number 50% tha, ideally. Ideally, yeah, that's ideally just for. And
Okay.
25% for your running of your house expenses, 25% for saving for your retirement. That is what Prabhupada recommended, but obviously it's difficult. So it's more practical that you can try with a smaller amount, 5%, 10%, whatever you're comfortable with, and keep in
Okay.
a bank, and then उसको अलग से रख दो, and then you use that amount for some, say, festival में जैसे donation देना है, or doing a yatra, or buying Prabhupada
Mm-hmm.
books or literatures and something of that sort. So
Mm-hmm.
that you can do.
Okay.
You can start with 5%, 10%, whatever you're comfortable with, and
Mm-hmm.
keep it separate, and then give for just say 3 4 major events that happen. Actually, one is your book distribution that happens. Then you have the Makar Sankranti festival that the Jhu temple was there. For our temple, I'm talking about. Then you have the Janmashtami that is coming. That's again a very important event. And then Rath Yatra that's coming on say 40 days from now. The Rath Yatra is there. So something of that sort. You can donate, or for yatras you can use that money when you go for yatra to Vrindavan or Mayapur. So you can use that. I hope that's clear, but
Perfect.
it's individual to individual, honestly.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So some examples I know, they say they started with less and then they started giving more, or somebody bought a land, or for land temple ko donate kar diya and all that. So this has happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll just read it. So you got the Yukta Vairagya principle. This is again very important, and this is the beauty of Krishna consciousness in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He actually can use everything for the service of Krishna. So you can use your time, you can use your energy, or you can use your fruits. So these three things है आपके पास. You have time, right? You have energy, and you have your fruits. मतलब the money that you earn or whatever seva that you do. So you can use
9 p.m.
everything for the service of Krishna, and Krishna accepts everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. But it should be that is the sure. I'll read it. Actually situated in renunciation, such activities clear the mirror of the mind. And as the actor gradually makes progress in spiritual realization, he becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, at the end, he becomes liberated, and this liberation is also specified. By this liberation, he does not come one with the Brahma Jyotir, but rather enters into the planet of the Supreme Lord. It is clearly mentioned, Mam Upasyasi, he comes to me. Back home, back to God. So, again, a very important, there are three types of realization. One is you merge with the Brahman. Second is Aishwarya, mein you go to the Vaikuntha planets. But here Krishna is saying when you surrender to him, so you go to Golok Vrindavan directly. So you go to his abode, and then you can have loving exchanges with him. It is clearly Mamupyasi. He comes to me, back home, back to God. There are 5 different stages of liberation, and here it is specified that the devotee who has always lived his lifetime here under the direction of the Supreme Lord, as stated, has evolved to the point where he can, after quitting the body, go back to Godhead and engage directly in the association of the Supreme Lord. So we are about time now. This we can do next time. You wanted to do it now, or we can do it next time also.
Next time will be good, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody has to. So we end the session. Any questions you have? Any questions? Or we can end the session. So Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chinmay Mataji, you had some question?
Actually, I have a question, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Please go.
Yeah, this is not regarding the session. Can I ask you now or later?
Later you can ask me that, but if it's not regarding the session, then we can just close and we can talk.
Yes, 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 sure, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Okay,
Krishna. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram.
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram.
Ram.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Yeah, Chetan bro, you're saying something?
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji. Thank you
Prabhuji.
for a
Yeah.
wonderful session, Prabhuji.
Thank
Thoroughly
you,
enjoyed. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare